Hi, Anita. Hi, Caitlin. Anita, I apologize. I found a note that I wrote myself after you and I spoke recently, and I had forgotten about it. So I'll follow up with you on that. Welcome. I'll just give folks a moment to arrive. Maybe you can tell I'm inside today. It's a little chilly, so we decided to give the hammocks a rest today and come inside to the studio. I'm just going to go turn the lights down. Just give me just a sec. That's a little better. Hi, Leanne. Welcome. So it's just a minute or two afternoon, and just want to again give a deep bow to Frontier RTP for bringing this series, RTPfit Meditation, to us all. We have today and 2 more weeks. So, yeah. I just want to invite you to just give yourself some appreciation and gratitude for giving yourself this time, for taking this time for yourself to take this pause. Welcome, Stacy. The time that we take to take this pause for ourselves is just an investment in ourselves. It's so important. So I really want you to just recognize what you're doing for yourself. And really just give yourself that gratitude, that appreciation, that acknowledgement. Today we continue with the attitudinal foundations of mindfulness, and our focus today is the beginner's mind. And that's the not knowing mind. And this is something that's really attributed to Zen Buddhism, this idea of beginner's mind. And yet, it's sort of come into the Western vernacular of this idea of beginner's mind, bring your beginner's mind, your childlike wonderment. And it really is the idea of imagining that no matter what is happening, no matter what situation that you're in, it's the very first time that you're seeing it, you're experiencing it, you're smelling it, you're tasting it. Maybe some of you have done the experiment of mindful eating where you eat the raisin and you imagine it's the very first time sensing the texture, the feel, the taste of the raisin, first of all in your hand, seeing it, examining it, and then actually placing it in your mouth, sensing all the different pieces and parts, crevices, and then the actual taste, the smell, how it moves from the mouth into the nasal cavity, all the sensations that arise. How do we bring this beginner's mind? Now, there's a Zen teacher who's long passed who wrote about this concept, the beginner's mind, and he wrote, if your mind is empty, it is open to everything. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few. Now, I believe as a meditation student and teacher that our minds are never empty, and the most we can hope for is that our minds will be open, because the mind is built to secrete thoughts just like, or produce thoughts, and it always will, just like our mouths secrete saliva, our heart pumps blood. But we can think about a beginner's mind as a mind that's open and has, you're welcome to join. Excuse me. So are you here for meditation?
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome. Now, I've got several people online, and you're welcome to join. And we're talking about beginner's mind today. That's our focus. And so I'm just talking about the concept of beginner's mind, and then we're going to go into a meditation. My name is Haven.
Yeah. My name is Rush.
Rush,
Yeah.
nice to meet you and welcome. So I'm just talking about the concept of beginner's mind being a mindset of not having any expectations, of not having any preconceived notions. So I'm on the mic so that they can hear me, and then you can hear me okay as well, right?
Yeah.
Good, thank you. So this means that anything is possible when we're in beginner's mind. And very often we come into our situations and circumstances with preconceived notions. So being in beginner's mind really means developing the mindset even when you already know something or have lots of experiencing. Let me start over. Having beginner's mind means developing this mindset even when you already know something or have lots of experience with a topic. Okay? So oftentimes we are very experienced in subject matter and we can have an expert mind, and that's great. But what would happen even when we have expert mind if we bring beginner's mindset to it?
Interesting.
Yeah, it reminds me of Steve Jobs. How was he able to bring so many incredible... You're welcome to join. How was he able to bring so many incredible operating systems and products? You know, of course he didn't do it alone, but how was he able to help other people tap into this? You know, they said that Steve Jobs very rarely took a meeting at a desk, but was seen walking throughout Apple's campus, which is why he insisted upon having a very nature-like campus, lots of trees, lots of green, because he liked to brainstorm and walk. How can we look at this differently? How are we making assumptions about this? How can we bring beginner's mind? And so 6 ways to cultivate beginner's mind. And then we're going to jump into our meditation. First is to ignore the stories our past experience tells us. Now, of course, when we make decisions, we want to use our past experience, but our minds can play tricks on us. So just think about, when was the last time that you jumped to a conclusion based on past experience, and then later found out that the assumption that you made was not true. So maybe, you had made, I don't know, an appointment to be with someone and they never showed up. And I know for me, I can say, well, they don't care about me. It wasn't important to them. But the truth was, I don't know, maybe their child got sick and they had rushed them to the doctor. And so the last thing they were thinking about was texting me. So when we make these assumptions based on past experience or our own lack of self-worth, like I'm not important, then, but if we bring beginner's mind, we say there are 10,000 reasons why my friend didn't show up. Stuck in traffic, they lost their phone died, their kid is sick. Right? Yeah. We also, number 2, we can take inspiration from children. Anybody got kids or grandkids?
I got kids.
Yeah, the wonderment. Everything is brand new. Oh my God, look at that worm with legs. And what do we say? Oh, it's a centipede or it's a caterpillar. No, it's a worm with legs. Right? The wonderment, the awe, all the questions that they come up. Right? And we're like, oh my gosh, but no. Why does it work this way? Why is the sky blue? How can we, when faced with the situations at work, at home, ask the same kind of questions? Well, why is it this way? Well, it's always been this way. Well, does it have to always be this way? How can we bring that go back to the very basics of the childlike wonderment? Love that, thinking about what would my child ask about this situation? Even the most complex engineering or marketing or business development questions. What would my kid ask about this? The third way is to slow down. This is my favorite mantra, slow down. And a lot of us have learned this in the pandemic. How can I take a pause and slow down? What am I rushing through? What am I not noticing? How did I get to work today? Do you remember the path that you took? Or was I going so quickly and I was on the phone with my sister? Was I really paying attention to the path? Was I multitasking? Which actually is a myth. We cannot do, when they say multitasking came from the term of computers doing multiple tasks at once, but actually what computers were doing was they do one task, and then they switch to another task, and then they go back to the other task, and then go back to the other. So it wasn't really multitasking. It was changing from task to task. But we think we can cook dinner and have a meaningful conversation with a family member at the same time. And we're doing one or the other, or neither one very well. So we got to slow down. The fourth way is to remove the word should from our vocabulary. What happens when we say we should? It's a preconceived notion, right? It's like, let's let go of any idea about what's supposed to happen. What if we just let everything be a surprise?
No expectation.
No expectations. Be prepared for everything and nothing. It's a very Zen-like way to live. And we say, well, in our world, we cannot live that way. But what if we could? What if we just took a slice out of one part of our life and said, I'm going to experiment and see what happens if I'm prepared for everything and nothing and be surprised. Like, live in a very mindful way, be present for what's happening, turn toward it with love, and not not throw my assumptions onto everything, and just be very open and accepting. Number 5, put our ego on the back burner. Right? It's our ego that gets in the way a lot of times.
Easy to say, hard to do.
Very difficult to do oftentimes. Because if we're an expert at something, we want to be recognized for our expertise. It's very natural. And it could be then that we are more concerned with being right about it than learning about what the best outcome could be. So yeah, we want to bring our expertise, and then we want to let go of it, let go of our ego. Like, if I'm truly dedicated to being a lifelong learner, and most meditators are, then I can say, this is my expertise, I put it out there, but hey, the childlike wonderment now can come in and say, but what is possible? What is truly possible? And I'm willing to make mistakes.
There is no other way.
Yeah, and the 6th way is to meditate, to cultivate an open mind. So let's do that now. Settle in. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, I invite you to close your eyes. Placing both feet on the earth, uncrossing your arms. You can rest your hands comfortably on your thighs or in your lap. Just wiggling your spine into alignment. Allowing whatever's supporting you to hold you and support you. So if you're on the cushion, just wiggling your sit bones into the cushion. If you're in the chair, just allowing the back of the chair to support your spine and your back. If you're lying down, letting the mat, the floor hold you. And let's take the next few breaths a little deeper and more consciously. And I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath in your nostrils. Just sensing the breath in your nostrils, maybe even sensing the coolness of the breath as you breathe in and the warmth of the breath as you breathe out. Just noticing whatever it is that you sense in your nostrils. And now dropping your attention on the breath down to the back of your throat. Just noticing as you breathe in and out where the breath meets the back of your throat. And now dropping your attention on the breath down into your chest. Maybe sensing the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and breathe out. And now letting your full attention on the breath fall down deep into your lower belly. Sensing the softness of your lower belly as you breathe in and out. Just resting in this breath. Resting here in this breath, in this moment. Now I invite you to connect to the breath wherever it is that you find it most easily, whether that's in your nostrils, and the back of your throat, your chest, or your belly. And just let this be your anchor, your home base for whenever your mind wanders, which it will. It's perfectly natural. And this anchor, this home base, is where you will return whenever your mind wanders to begin again, knowing that this is the practice to cultivate an open mind, a beginner's mind. And now just sensing the natural rhythm and cycle of the breath. Sensing the in-breath, the pause, the out-breath, the pause. Just noticing the whole cycle of the breath. And if you're noticing any tightness or tension in the body, just inviting release and relaxation on the exhale. Mindfully adjusting your body for more comfort, more ease. Coming back with your full attention on your breath. Staying with the breath, letting the inhale and the pause fall into the background, bringing the out breath to the foreground. Just focusing, not manipulating, just letting your focus be on the out breath. Following that out breath all the way to the end. And again, just breathing naturally, letting the breath breathe itself.
Hey, how's it going?
Noticing sounds and distractions is part of the process, part of the practice. Can even bring us back to the present moment when we get lost. And if ever we find it difficult to stay with the breath, we can turn to the advice of the teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, who invites us to say to ourselves as we breathe in, I am breathing in, and as we breathe out, I am smiling to myself as I breathe out. Focusing on the breath. This breath right here, cultivating a beginner's mind just by focusing on this breath right here, right now. Recalling the words from the Zen teacher Suzuki, in the beginner's mind there are many possibilities, in the expert's mind there are few. And preparing to open your eyes as I ring the bell. Thank you. Next week we'll be talking about generosity and gratitude and generosity. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Thank you all. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you, Leanne. Good to see you. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Anita.